Good morning. Today I'm going to go over stanza 2 in the poem Autowreck by Carl Shapiro. Many of you did such a great job with analyzing these two stanzas. I was very impressed and happy with what I read. I really want you to take a good look at the perspective of all the stanzas of this poem and try to identify how they are different from one another. It's really important because they are all so different. I know that this isn't the happiest of poems, but it's quite interesting how the poet describes this horrific accident in so many different ways and with so many different techniques. I just want you to be aware of that. So let's get started. I'm going to read this stanza to you since it's so short. We are deranged, walking among the copse, who sweep glass and are large and composed. One is still making notes under the light. One with bucket douches ponds of blood into the street and gutter. One hangs lanterns on the wrecks that cling, empty husks of locusts to iron poles. So Shapiro starts off with, we are deranged, walking among the copse. Deranged means kind of crazed or disoriented. So the reader can picture this scene with people walking by kind of almost in shock of what they're seeing, while police are just doing their job. They're sweeping away debris, broken glass, taking notes, and hosing down the blood that's in the street, and it kind of goes into the gutter. This clearly is not a pretty sight, and it's quite traumatic for anybody to see. But at the end, the poet writes two lines that kind of get you thinking. He says, one hangs lanterns on the wrecks that cling, empty husks of locusts to iron poles. So he's referring to this as these wrecked automobiles of steel with, headlights broken that are wrapped around poles. It kind of puts this image in your mind of what this scene must have looked like. So some of you yesterday noticed that the perspective of the stanza was quite different than the first stanza. In this stanza, the poet is more direct with us. It's as if he was part of the scene. And I don't know if you've noticed, but he uses the pronoun we, so it makes us start thinking that he is part of this scene. And there's not as many metaphors in this stanza as there were in the first, so it's a little easier to understand. So as this poem progresses, we can assume that 1, there's been a horrible accident, obviously a fatal one. 2, people are walking by noticing. There are onlookers. And 3, the police are cleaning up the scene, taking notes, kind of doing their job. It's as if everything just continues on. So today you will read the rest of the poem. Take your time and read it a few times and to try to understand it. That's the thing about poetry, you guys, is that sometimes you have to read it more than once. Pay attention to the perspective in each of the stanzas and how it changes. And please pay attention to the word choices the poet uses to set the mood. So good luck with this, and I hope this video helped you a little bit. And have a great day. Hopefully I'll see you at Zoom at 9:30.